Hey, what's going on, guys? Got a quick tutorial for you today on how to set up your admiredpersons.html page for CIT 100. So jumping right into it, you're going to navigate to technologyrediscovery.net/student projects. We'll have that link in the description. And then you're going to go down to the admiredpersons.html page. Then on step one, you're going to want to click on the link that's going to open up the HTML editor in W3 Schools. And then the first step to this process, guys, is just going to be figuring out who you want to use for your project. It can be anybody you want, just as long as you're going to be able to write a decent bit about them, to fill up the description space, for the first couple of paragraphs and heading there. So once you know who you want to use, you're going to do a quick Google search for that person. You're going to find a couple of pictures you want to use. When you've got a picture you like, you're going to right-click the image, say copy image address, and then going back down to that bottom half of the HTML editor there, you're going to find that source line that's labeled src in red. Go in between those quotes, going to delete everything between the quotes, and then hit Control V to paste in the new link for the images you select. And you're going to see there's 3 or 4 different source lines down there underneath that table class picture table. And I'm just repeating that exact same process. So all you're doing is going in between those quotes, pasting in the pictures you want. And then you can hit that green run button up the top to take a look at how that's looking. You'll see all the pictures are kind of about the same size, but what I did was if you go over to that width parameter, also in red on that same line as the src, you just change around those values a little bit, make them a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, change them from 200 to 300, 400, 150, just to name a few examples. You'll see how on the page now the sizes of the pictures are a little bit different, just kind of gives you a little bit more variety. Another thing you can also do if you want to add or remove another picture from the default, 3 or 4 that are there, you can select those 3 lines of code, go underneath that TR header, and then just paste those 3 lines, and then repeat the exact same process as before of coming in between those quotes, deleting everything, and then pasting the link. All right, after we've got our pictures good to go, the next thing we want to do is to take care of our paragraph description of our desired person. So we're going to come in between these 2 paragraph headers, those P and the brackets up there. Going to delete everything that's there by default, and then you can just type in whatever you want. So like I said, doesn't have to be all that long. I just did a quick 2 or 3 sentences, but just kind of a brief description as to why that person inspires you, why you picked that person. Can be a list of accomplishments or a list of movies they've been in. If they're an actor, it can be some sort of an impressive athletic profile. If they're a sports, anything like that. After we've got that, you can see we've got another header followed by 2 more paragraph lines below. And these paragraph lines are going to be several websites related to our admired person. So guy I'm using is Luke Holland. He's a professional drummer, so I'm going to link his YouTube page because he does a lot of cool drum covers. You guys can check that out. And then I've got his Wikipedia page as well. So all I'm doing is I just do a quick Google search of the guy. I find a couple of websites I like. And then up in the search bar, I'm just going to copy that URL by highlighting it, hitting Control C, and then pasting those links in between the quotes on those paragraph headers up top, just like we did before for the copying the image addresses in. After I've got my 2 links there good to go, the next thing I'm going to do is come up to that H2, and I'm going to delete everything that's in there, and then I'm going to put in my own description of what those links are. I'm just going to say, check out Luke's drum covers, because, like I said, he's a drummer. He's got some drum covers on YouTube. We can run that, see how we're looking. You can see that all of our headers, all of our descriptions are now changed to match what we typed in those first couple of paragraph and headers there. So now that we've got all that good to go, the last thing we're going to be messing with as far as parameters for our page is just changing around some of the colors. So you can go to W3 Schools. There's a link on the main Technology Rediscovery page for the project where you can just go and check out some different colors you can use. But I'm just going to, as a quick example, going to change the main color of the paragraph text from green to black and then from light blue to light gray, see how that's looking. And I'll come down here and change the purple to, I don't know, say blue instead. As you can see, that's kind of how that changes the look of the page. And that's about all we got to mess with for this project. So now what we're going to do is come up the top here and click on Save Code. And when we hit that green Save button, it's going to give us a link that we can use to paste on our shared Google Docs. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and say Copy Link Address. And then heading back over here to the main project page, we've taken care of all the steps we need to as far as editing the HTML itself. So now we're going to go down to step 3 and say open up our shared Google Doc for the project. And I'm just going to scroll down until I find the next available space. And I'm going to give the name of my admired person. Just like we did before, I'm going to give a brief description of why why that person inspires me, why I want to use that person, who that person is, that kind of thing. I'm going to paste in my link that I just copied. And then I'm going to put my name, which also happens to be Luke, but yours will obviously be different depending on who it is. And that's going to wrap it up for this project, guys. So I hope this was helpful, and take care.